Defiant Congresswoman Corrine Brown indicted on 22 federal counts of conspiracy and fraud. This is video of the 12-term representative walking out of federal court moments after prosecutors read the charges against her. Brown and her chief of staff, they were indicted for their roles in an education charity that investigators say was a fraud and used as a slush fund.
My heart is just really heavy. This has been a very difficult time for me, my family, my constituents, but I'm looking forward to a speedy day in court to vindicate myself.
If convicted on all charges, Congresswoman Brown could be sentenced up to 357 years in prison, plus up to $4.8 million in fines.
She has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and a trial date is set for September 6th. Brown's chief of staff, Ronnie Simmons, is also facing federal charges. The federal government building their case around Simmons' former girlfriend, Carla Wiley, the president of the questionable charity One Door for Education. The FBI also said today public corruption is its top criminal priority. Our team of reporters and political and legal analysts are standing by to bring you the latest on this major local story. We begin with Channel 4's Lindsay Gardner, who was in federal court this afternoon as the counts were read against Corrine Brown. Lindsay.
Well, Mary, tonight, Corrine Brown is out on a $50,000 bond. It is an unsecured bond, so she didn't actually have to pay any money. A judge also ordered that she cannot leave the country, but she can travel back and forth to Washington, D.C., which she says she does plan to do. She also cannot have any contact with two key figures in this case, Carla Wiley and Vaughn Alexander.
Let me just say that I really do believe let the work I've done speak for me.
Corrine Brown briefly teared up outside of the federal courthouse, surrounded by attorneys, local pastors, and supporters as the weight of the charges seemed to sink in. Charges she adamantly denies, pleading not guilty.
I in no way feel like this is just the beginning. The community has been praying, but my attorneys are here, and we will present the other side. It used to be a program on TV, and here is the rest of the story. We got the rest of the story. So I'm looking forward to presenting the rest of the story.
The I-team was with Brown in federal court as she heard the charges for the very first time. In fact, it took nearly an hour for federal prosecutors to read the 50-page indictment outlining a scheme that stretched over the last 5 years, accused of defrauding donors in Jacksonville and all over the country for personal gain, and also defrauding the government with false tax filings. Charges during an election cycle that Brown feels are politically and racially motivated.
The district that we stand in today, I represent Orlando. These are the same agents that was not able to do a thorough investigation of the agent, and we ended up with 50 people dead and over 58 people injured. Same district, same Justice Department, same agents. And with that, I will see you in court.
Today, we learned the federal government has worked on this case for a full year, using that grand jury for 6 months. The FBI special agent in charge releasing part of a statement that says it is incredibly disappointing that an elected official who took an oath year after year to serve others would exploit the needs of children and abuse the charitable hearts of constituents to advance her own personal and political agendas and deliver them virtually nothing. Mary.
Lindsay, can you describe the Congresswoman's demeanor throughout the 2-hour hearing today? You were there through it all.
Well, Mary, you just heard her there defiant. Earlier in the day, she had walked into court presumably pretty confident, and she was the loudest person in the courtroom whenever asked questions by the judge. But as the federal prosecutor was up for a near hour there reading that entire indictment, again, Corrine Brown hearing it for the first time, she visibly kind of sunk into her chair, leaned back in her chair, and when they were at count 20 of the 24-count indictment, you saw her attorney just reach over and put her arm around her, and it looked like Corrine Brown was wiping away a tear. Kent.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Corrine Brown's attorneys in this case are a husband and wife team, prominent civil rights attorney Bill Shepard and Betsy White.
And they made it clear in court this morning and outside that the government was wrong when it indicted Corrine Brown. Jim Piggott has spoken with them, and he's joining us live from the federal courthouse. Jim.
You know, Mary, Shepard made it clear in court today that he was upset because the media, that we knew more about this case than he did before they got that indictment. In fact, Shepard had called me on Wednesday night after I was calling him, wanting to know what I knew. And he said he wasn't informed of anything at that point. So in court today, they made a point to tell the judge that that is an issue. Now, he also said we were there outside of his office before this court hearing today, because that is where Corrine Brown was before the court hearing. And he had told in court that she couldn't go home last night because the media was camped out there. And he wanted the judge to be aware of that. But they were outside of his office today, and I was trying to ask him, would they take her in custody? He didn't know at that point. He didn't find out anything until he came here to the courthouse. Now, in court today, they did say that they want this to be a speedy trial. That is why we have a trial date now set for September 6th. Outside the courtroom, Betsy White made it clear that this is going to be no ordinary trial.
Make no mistake, the actions of the government will be under as much scrutiny at this trial as the alleged conduct of the Congresswoman. We will fight to ensure that the core values of the criminal justice system are not undermined, and that Congresswoman Brown's constitutional rights are honored and respected. We look forward to the opportunity to vindicate the Congresswoman who has fought and will continue to fight tirelessly for her constituents.
I'll tell you one thing that Betsy White was saying, upset that this hearing wasn't delayed until next week, because she said the Congresswoman had some important votes on Capitol Hill today, and they said they could have done this next week when Congress was on vacation. She says that's one concern that they had when the bond was set in this case, that they want to make sure that she could travel to Washington to do her job. Of course, she's going to be limited to stay in the U.S. She can't go out of the country unless she gets special permission. Now, there also may be a conflict with Bill Shepard and Betsy White, and they're going to try to work that out as Corrine Brown's attorney. There'll be a special hearing later this month. They wouldn't say what that conflict is, but they'll know later this month if they can continue as her attorney. We're live from the courthouse. Jim Pickett, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Jim. Prosecutors detailed what each of the 22 counts against Brown carry when it comes to possible prison time, fines, and restitution. Count 1, conspiracy, carries maximum penalty of $250,000 in fine and a prison term of up to 20 years. The mail and wire fraud charges, they carry the same sentence. And in fact, the maximum possible penalty for 17 of these counts is 20 years in prison, plus that $250,000 fine. Count 19 is scheme to conceal material facts. Count 21 is corrupt endeavor to impede the IRS. And Tarek Miner is joining us live downtown. Tarek, help further explain how serious these federal counts are.
Well, Kent, you know, this indictment spells out more than 100 separate bank deposits and withdrawals that Congresswoman Corrine Brown and her Chief of Staff, Ronnie Simmons, those transactions that are being called into question. And then also when it comes to the mail and fraud allegations, there are 17 instances where she's accused of breaking the law. Here's a look at the money trail. Now, in 2009, $80,000 in one-door money was used to pay for Simmons' boat loan and credit card balances. Between 2013 and 2015, more than $130,000 in one-door money was moved in wire transfers. That same year, $200,000 in one-door money paid for a golf tournament in Brown's honor, a Beyonce concert, and luxury NFL box seats and a $7,000 party for Brown at the stadium in Washington, D.C. In October of 2012, $2,600 was used to pay for repairs to Ronnie Simmons' personal car. Then the next year, another $1,100 for the same personal vehicle and repairs. In July of 2013, 3 days in a row, $800 withdrawals from one-door account and then deposited into Brown's personal account. In August of 2013, nearly $2,000 for airfare and lodging at a luxury Miami hotel, with $1,000 spent extra on luxury car rentals and hotel charges. And then that same month, another $3,055 withdrawn. And then the next year in September, $5,000 in publishing costs for a commemorative magazine issue of Brown. Now, we spoke with Senator Audrey Gibson, who still firmly believes if there's anything illegal happening, Brown didn't have any knowledge of it. If there was some corruption with one door, that the Congresswoman didn't know about it.
It didn't start with her, and I'm not sure that she even knew all of the convoluted things that were being done as it related to the funding.
One door solicited more than $800,000 since the year 2011. And according to this indictment, only $1,200 actually went to scholarships, and only 2 students were awarded scholarships from that $800,000 total. We're live downtown. I'm Tarek Minor, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Tarek.